I am Professor Matt at Haggis-Burridge, and I'm Professor of Creative and Entertainment Games at Breda University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands. In collaboration with Sassybot, I created a game called Fragments of Him, which is on show at this festival. In Fragments of Him, alongside creating an emotional experience, a journey for people to go on alongside with these characters, we were trying to also create a little bit of meaningful message, a little bit of impact on society in a small way. One of the aspects of doing this was that we chose to primarily feature a couple of characters. Out of the four main characters, two of them are not straight, they are from a queer community. Will, the main character that the story centres around, is a young man that dies in an accident. He has lived an everyday life, an average life, trying to have friends, family, love, but Will is also a bisexual man. And in the game we see his relationship with his previous partner, Sarah, who's one of the other characters. We also see the relationship with his partner, Harry, at the time of his death. So we see the normal life of a bisexual person. Unfortunately, when we see bisexual people, particularly bisexual men, in the media, still today, 7 years after it first came up with this idea, bisexual people are typically represented as being evil in some way. They're vampires, they're possessed, their sexuality is a sign of their corruption. Or we see that they are trying to use their sexuality as a way of gaining some kind of political monetary advantage. So the representation of bisexual people doesn't really correspond with the reality of bisexual people's lives, which is normal stuff. You get a job, you go to work, you fall in love. So trying to show that bisexual people, people from queer communities, are just everyday folk getting on with their lives that are not a threat to anybody else, that was part of what we were trying to communicate here. Alongside that, we also wanted to have half the characters in the game, like the real world, being women. Because back in 2013 and still today, the representation of women in video games, it's still a minority of the people that we see. If you look at the front covers, I've been doing some research recently, if you look at the front covers of video games, back in 2013, only 1 in 5 of people on front covers of a video game was a woman, and still today, only about 30% of people on the front covers of video games is a woman. So we can see that there is a lot more work to be done in terms of representation. And in particular, we also had an older woman, Mary, who was of retirement age. Older women and older people in video games are very rarely visible. They tend to get included. So we really wanted to make sure that we did a good job representing queer communities, a good job representing women, and to show the diversity and spectrum of society in a game that was about love, a game about going on a journey with people, a game that was not about violence and destruction and aggression, but a game about connecting with others and understanding the impact we have on each other's lives. So that's a little bit about what we were trying to achieve in Fragments of Him. Thank you very much for listening.